Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of the Driven Life podcast. I am once again joined by my co-host, Dr. Alfredo Petroni. Dr. Petroni, how are you
Hello.
doing?
It's a nice, beautiful day out, so I'm pretty happy with that right now. How are you doing?
It is very good. Yesterday was Star Wars Day,
Yeah,
May the 4th, and we didn't watch a Star Wars movie. We watched
oh,
a Marvel movie. So
I
I'm
mean,
not sure
yeah.
what that means.
We watched the newest Star Wars.
Oh, nice. Did you like it?
Yeah, so I saw it in theater when it came out, but
Right.
Disney Plus released it on digitally
Yeah.
yesterday, so
Yeah.
we watched it.
Nice. Yeah, I think I may have already watched it like 4 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so guys, Dr. Alfredo, tell us, what are we going to be discussing today?
So life will never be normal again is what we're going to talk about on today's podcast. So why don't we get into how life will never be back to normal for you, Miguel?
Yeah, this times as challenging as it has been, and as much as it just kind of pulled the rug from underneath our feet, it really has brought a lot of benefits to me, to my life, to my community, to my clients. And I mean, right off the bat, I had a lot more time with my children,
Yeah.
which was really cool. With my son, I was able to, watch Survivor together again, which we loved to do when he was little, and we just hadn't done in the last 4 or 5 years. So that was really nice. From a work perspective, with us running an in-person gym where people come work out and we help them with their nutrition and accountability and whatnot, it was relatively easy to transition online. What we did is we just had live and on-demand workouts, and continue to have now. In fact, it will become a new normal. So it was something that we implemented because of the lockdown, and now it's definitely here to stay. We will continue to provide online workouts because a lot of our clients noticed that now they didn't have to drive to the gym. They didn't have to work out on anybody else's schedule. They could make it fit into their schedule, right? And one thing that we did was we basically upgraded everybody to one-on-one nutrition and accountability, which means they're connected through their phones to an accountability coach, and this coach is in their back pocket 24/7, right? So it's constantly messaging them, checking in and saying, hey, what's for dinner tonight? Hey, how's your water today? Hey, how's that knee? Or hey, where's your sweaty selfie from your workout? I haven't seen it yet. So that high and that accountability paired up with, well, I'm at home, I can work out whenever. Some of our clients, a significant portion of them, are seeing better results now since the lockdown than before. So that has already been a major realization, and we're definitely looking at ways to continue to provide that when it all happens, right? I have some clients that are saying, you know what, I miss everybody, but when the doors open, I'm considering staying online because less time, better results, and more accountability.
Yeah.
Right.
And convenience, right? Like you're not set to someone else's schedule. You can really kind of make your own schedule. So there's definitely lots of I guess pluses and minuses.
Yeah, there's something that it doesn't look like it'll be around for much longer are movie theaters. And I love going to the movies, and getting the popcorn and getting all of that. With some of the studios experimenting with releasing their movies digitally, they're realizing, oh, we can do this, and now, for example, for us, we bought a movie for the kids and we watched it together with the family. I think it was like $20 for the movie, but it was an experience, and we did it as a family, and it wasn't $80 like it would be to take a family of four to the movies, right? So
yeah, and it's interesting that you say that because it is true. Like our like TVs and like sound systems and stuff that you can buy. Um, it's almost like cheap, I guess I would say.
yeah,
Like I don't want to say like take it for granted, but like in terms of like the amount of technology that you can get, you can get pretty good like TV and whatever for a fairly good cost. And
yeah.
you know, I one of the things I did like about Nanaimo was that shift to like how the movie theaters kind of all went in that like VIP direction with
Mhm.
like the chairs and stuff. And so
Yeah.
that probably will be like more of a new normal um for movie theaters where it's like, yeah, it's going to be more of this like VIP experience because we can offer kind of digitally and at home.
Yeah, so when we do open our doors for the gym again, we will definitely have to have more space in between.
Yeah,
And that forces a question: if our operating expenses are staying the same or consistently going up, as everything does,
yeah,
uh, and the number of people that we can have in each class
yeah,
decreases, then that definitely poses a question of you're not going to be able to stay profitable for long. And as you know, without profit, you can't stay in business. So it's important to find that balance, and we're already looking at that. You know it is imminent that sooner than later we would have to go to a more premium tier of cost just to ensure that we can stay open, right? um, as always, the clients that we already have, uh, their grandfather, and they stay, they continue paying what they started at for as long as they're around. But it definitely changes things. Now for you, how does it work when basically the bulk of your work is being in direct contact with people?
yeah. You know, it's been a lot of like change, I think, on my end. For me, a lot of the things that I'm looking at changing, um, they're going to be minimal for I would say like the experience of what people experience. Um, I'm a solo practitioner and I don't have any receptionist or assistant that helps me out really right now. So I've already had to kind of like adapt my systems in a way that makes it easier for me to process things.
Mhm.
Um, so there's still like that real important like human touch and human side
Right.
uh, of being a chiropractor that I have to work with. But I think like for me where some of the things may change or may shift were that I've noticed through this time was the I guess I don't want to say like ease, but like how really easy it is for me to connect with people through the kind of like digital or like
Yeah.
uh, cell phone and email world.
Right.
And it's one of the things that I've been maintaining was I'm text message my patients and practice members all the time and just check
Mhm.
in how you doing, like if
Yeah.
there's anything I can do for you, maybe offer some like online like service and consultations and things like that when things really come up. um, but yeah, I don't see a whole lot of change per se in my like normal day to
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
practices once this kind of clears up. But where I really kind of uh, for me the whole idea of like getting back to normal or this getting back to like a new normal is kind of more appropriate than us wanting to go back to where we were before
Yeah.
pre-pandemic, right?
Yeah.
um like for me I think that a lot of times we get confused between what is normal and what is common. um, and it's a conversation that I have quite often where we make that big differentiation between the things that happen in our life that we have just taken for granted and we now call it normal. Oftentimes we're super far from normal and we're just caught in this common. And when we look at like our health and society, like common's no good. Common is overweight, unhealthy,
Right.
multiple like non-communicable diseases, so like obesity, hypertension, high cholesterol, those kinds of
Yeah,
things.
that is common.
They're common, right? Um, and we get confused because we also think that it's normal for us to be on like all these medications and reliant on all these things. And so, um, what I love about not love, but what I'm trying to take away from this situation is to kind of like redefine for us like what is actually like normal
Yeah.
in terms of our lives, right?
Yeah. And how do you facilitate that for your clients? I mean, just through blog posts, through education, like, or through their one-on-one consultations. How do you do that?
Yeah, so that's where I think education is the biggest way that I do it. And one of the things that I've gotten from this whole pandemic is that how can I make my stuff or my information more accessible to people and like really build content for people to help teach them. And one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast is to kind of help with that, right? To give information or things that I can now refer back to or refer patients to
Right.
in the future,
So
right?
let's think about, the common aches and pains that people can feel, right? Like you were saying before we started recording. We get used to living with some degree of pain. Whether it's, oh, things hurt when I get up, or my back hurts, but it's only in the mornings, and we just,
Then it goes away.
that's just our normal. Where would you start? So if you are someone that in general have become used to a little bit of those aches and pains as you get up in the morning, at what point do we say, okay, I need to figure out if something else is going on?
Yeah. I think that what it really comes down to is, um, and I think me and you have talked about this before, and it's something that we share is, um, it's really trying to uh, come back down to what people believe or their thoughts around how their bodies work and function.
Mhm.
And I know that you share that in terms of like things with like weight loss and exercise. I think that what we really need to start coming back to is what we believe to be true about our bodies, to believe to be true about our health, our
Right.
fitness, our exercise, uh, and everything. So I think for most people, it's about bridging that gap between um, where they are and where they should be or where they want to be. I guess no one should be anywhere that they don't want to be. But when it comes to like those aches and pains, a lot of our beliefs around that are that it's going to go away because it's not that serious if it only affects me in the morning.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's just the healthcare system that we've been brought up to believe, is that we don't really need to do anything until we have to do something about
Right.
it.
Right.
But the unfortunate thing is that by the time we have to do something about it, and when it comes to like aches and pains, for example, that low back pain that's ached for years and years and years, all of a sudden results in something like a disc injury, and then you're hurled over in pain, and you're
Right.
now looking at like 18 months of recovery to
Yeah.
try and get over that. So
Yeah.
I think it really just comes down to like trying to figure out what your beliefs are about your body and about your health, and where those kind of like aches and pains like fit into what's actually going on
Right.
um, with us, right?
So basically, to question our own assumption that just because we're not 20 anymore, it's okay to feel that pain in the morning.
Yeah, exactly, right. Like if someone were to come to you who who's struggling uh with weight loss, maybe, or maybe not even, maybe just exercise in general, they don't have some kind of schedule or activity, like where would you like start with addressing like you know addressing where they want to go,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I definitely, I always look for, and again, because the majority of my clients are, you know, uh, between 35 and 50-year-old parents, moms, the majority,
Mhm.
um, you know, they have a busy schedule. They have a lot on their plates, right? So for me to prescribe, great, you're going to do 60 hours of cardio per day, and you're going to do an hour of weights, every day. Like, nobody has 2 extra hours just to, to 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 add uh, to your plate. So I always like to look at, the lowest hanging fruit in terms of, okay, so this is where you're at. You are, I mean, I work with people that sometimes start at 150 pounds overweight, right? So I'll be like, if we start eating a little bit better, it doesn't have to be, perfect overnight, but just a little bit better, you're going to start losing weight. And as you lose that weight, you're going to have less stress in your joints. Maybe when you feel okay, we can start heading out for like 15-minute walks, you know, or something like that. Like nothing crazy, nothing unsustainable, nothing that feels overwhelming. Because if anything, if you try to go from 0 to 60 right away, something may break, or it may just feel overwhelming, right? This is one of those long games that you don't win the game of fitness by getting fit. The purpose is to play the game, to stay fit, right? So um, in that sense, it changes the goal from, oh, I just want to lose 50 pounds to like, I never want to be in a position where I have to lose 50 pounds again. So it changes the whole thing.
Yeah, and you know what, Miguel, I think you like nailed it. When you said like it's about those small changes and not going from that 0 to 60. Because if anything, like for me personally, I'm a 0 to 60 kind of guy.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID-19, like I want everything to be the way I want it, like immediately. And I understand working for things like I went to school for a million years and whatever, but there's often times where like if anything out of all of this, that's where I've learned the most about myself, is that like, you know what, I really need to like take a second and like think about like those small changes that I'm making every single day, as opposed to like trying to get to 0 to 60 as quickly as I can, right?
Yeah, if we look back at the best things we've done in our lives, whether that was getting through medical school or raising a child, like those things took time. And that's why they are some of the best things in our life, right?
Exactly.
Now, if you think back at the I don't know, anybody can run or accomplish a marathon in one day. You can do it. It may take you 20 hours, but you'll do it. But then what? So we often just underestimate what we can achieve in the long term, right? We're so focused on that immediate gratification that we forget that if we just lower, this sounds counterintuitive maybe, but if we lower our expectations and our demands of ourselves, and we define what a new normal is going to look like for us, you're a lot more likely to stay consistent and to be able to keep it up, right? And that's what really causes significant change. It's constant action.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's like we're, as cliche as it sounds, it's so true that like we're making the best out of a bad situation. Like, yes, it's stressful and hard for all of us, but I think like the more that we can do to better ourselves on the other end of this, the more prepared we are for living a healthy life and the life that we enjoy and that we're happy with, right?
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if it is because now it's been about a month and a half since we've been locked indoors, but I'm definitely seeing a lot of people in my consultations that now are all virtual. A lot of people just kind of getting to that point where they're like, all right, something has to change. Like, the honeymoon stage of the being home, yay, is gone. And I'm not feeling better and better every day. I'm feeling worse and worse. So I'm going to start paying some attention to me, to my body and mind, and to be in a better place when this is all over, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know what? One of the industries that I think is the most hit, if not possibly the most, it's just tourism. Traveling. Like, I know you like traveling, and I do too. But like, it's gonna be a long time before that's back to normal. And even then, normal. Like, what's gonna happen? Going through the what's it called, TSA or whatever, like the
security,
the border security, that wasn't normal pre 9/11, right? It became normal after that. So what is going to become normal now?
Yeah.
That's It's crazy to think about it.
It is.
We're going to be able to think about this time, think back and be like, oh yeah, that's when it started. And
Mm-hmm.
it's, it can be scary or exciting, right? If you choose to take control of what you can control, then it's exciting because it's a blank canvas and you get to decide what things look like, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like these are the times that like really start to define us, because they push us to our limits psychologically, like emotionally, physically.
Yeah.
And then the way that we come out at the end of this will kind of determine how well we are at reacting to situations. And
Yeah.
it's like that cold shower analogy that I think that you lose last time. Like, if I can make it through, was that you?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Like, if I can make it through this cold shower for 10 seconds, 30 seconds,
Yeah.
you know, what else am I capable of doing?
That's right. That's right. Awesome, everybody. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Dr. Alfredo. As always,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure. We will see you again here next week for another episode. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you very soon.